Did it again. Forgot to put up my ping tuber. 1 second. There we go. I feel like that's gonna be a running habit. Never mind. Hello. I'm sketching some random stuff for my game idea. I want to make some actual assets to drop into Unity. Because I have the groundwork for Unity like working. I've got running, jumping. So I'd like to figure out the sprite sheet and the character design a bit more, and then a few like decorations and platforms and things, and then I can actually make my own complete scene in the game. Like having all my stuff in Unity. But I'm still not satisfied with the character design. It's kind of like halfway there, but we'll maybe leave that for another time. I want to make a. I figured it would be cool if one of the items in this was like a vending machine, or rather, not an item. I mean, interactable, kind of like things you get, like treasure chests and stuff you get money from, but they're just like broken vending machines. Like old neglected ones. You give them a few whacks and they'll spit out some of the currency for the game world. I thought that would be kind of a fun mechanic. Could just spit out drinks too. I guess I haven't decided what the currency would be. Like what you use to purchase stuff or level up, you know. I did think it would be good for it to spit out coins and then it's just like a coin type currency, but I wonder if it would be cool if it was the drinks from the vending machine instead that were the currency. And the lamp post would have to be much bigger. Maybe that kind of size. Oh, actually, maybe that size isn't so bad. Yeah, a little small. I did it. Bigger lamp post, and then both of these together would be bigger too. This is the kind of size I'm picturing, so I feel like the vending machines should be about the same size as you. Wonder what the currency would be called if we do use coins, though. Surely we can come up with a cool name. I hate when games use the term credits. Because I realize it's like they'll put a word before it, but it'll be something credits. And like if they're gonna be called credits anyway, it doesn't matter what word you put before them. Wuthering Waves does this actually. No, it's just a pet peeve of mine. I feel like we can do better. I like Zenzero calls them Denny's. And I like that. It's like nice to say. It's short. But Wuthering Waves calls them shell credits. And like you could have called them shellies or something, but as soon as you call them credits, it doesn't matter what that first word is. They could be bell credits, boom credits, stone credits. It's the little things, you know. One second, I just got a message I need to respond to. There we go. Give me that PM. It's in the way. Different. Yeah, that's fine. I guess it feels a bit old school to have a non-digital currency like coins in the game, maybe. And currency just being like the actual currency, like money, feels a bit, I don't know, basic. Where's my grid? Oh. I feel like I suppose something more unique from the vending machines might be cool too. Hey Pratam, you back after a month? That's okay. Welcome back. We'll have to brainstorm the currency idea a bit more, but I do still like the idea of the vending machines. You've been catching all my Instagram action? There's probably not been much of that for a few weeks. I kind of shift focus and I haven't had finished things to post. Although I do have one I was supposed to post today, actually. I forgot about. Um, where is it? Turn the grid off. I want to post this one because I like this concept sketch. I like that one. This one's okay, but I did sketch earlier that I need to make it a little bit more three-dimensional, so I'm going to rework that one. But the whole point of doing rough concepts, they don't take too long. I had this one for like a monorail, hanging train style area, but I wasn't too keen on it. Something felt like it was just off or missing something, or the angle, maybe. I'll have to mess around. Although one thing I have just noticed is these parts are really, I think they're too light. Looks like straight out of comics. That's a good sign. Um, yeah, I wanna kind of complete a few bits for assets, 2D assets I can put into Unity. Because I already have some stuff like working, so I need a sprite sheet and I need some like platforms and things. And so that's what some of these sketches are. I was kind of trying to figure out moves and things, but the character's still kind of iffy. Or like Cyberpunk. Cyberpunk's good. I want it to be kind of a bit of a dark environment, but still like quite colorful and close to Cyberpunk, like modern, but not fully futuristic. So, and then, I'm just kind of thinking about layers to build up for platforms because they don't just use like one flat layer. It's not like a Game Boy game. It's more advanced. Can put like foreground and background and parallax and stuff. So, which is maybe getting ahead of myself, but I think it's nice to have that stuff in mind early on. Nope, close that. Never thought about designing a lamp post before, so that's something. I think the vending machine works. Maybe we just put something else inside the vending machine instead. But I guess it depends who the currency goes to. Like, what kind of characters are you buying anything off of? And maybe it would still be the normal currency. I figured you'd. Oh, it sounds a bit too similar to Hollow Knight. But you'd find like a couple of people like NPCs throughout the game, and then a couple of shops would open up in the main hub starting zone. But maybe it's better they stay in their own places. I just thought there'd be some like rundown old buildings. And like they'd be run down old shops and things, and then the people would come back. I think that does feel too similar to Hollow Knight stuff. I've been looking at a lot of other games for ideas and watching a bunch of videos and different things, like different types of games too. I like watching Iron Pineapples. Like, he does like he looks for Souls-like games that people probably haven't heard of. Is the idea, and he calls it like Steam dumpster diving. Although he finds good stuff, it's not bad. And I see some really like cool and interesting ideas in there. So well, for now we have coins or tokens. I think we can probably come up with a better currency, or maybe there's a particular item that comes out of these vending machines that's worth something to creatures who don't use money anymore. Like, a bit close now. That over there. I do have a few ideas for abilities and moves already, but I came up with a bit of a I had a spark of inspiration last night for a mechanic that would be more interesting. Um, what's that? And I was thinking of Lightning Returns, like Final Fantasy 13 Lightning Returns, which I guess I guess it was a divisive game. Maybe I enjoyed it a lot, but I really liked the one of the things they did with the combat. So it was kind of like you had dress spheres or outfits, which were like different classes, and you would equip 3 of them, and they had like limited stamina for each one. So you had to like balance how much you used each one, and you were kind of made to keep switching through them and using abilities while the ones that weren't being used recharged. So I was kind of thinking of if that was a mechanic for shapeshifting, where you had a limited amount of stuff you could do in each form, and you would have to keep like switching between them. And then at the beginning, you'd have like two forms, and you'd just switch between the two. But then later on, you would have like you'd pick up a third one that changed things up a lot. And then it would be kind of you'd pick up a few more later on, but it would be like you'd only be able to equip 3, and you'd have to mix and match them to suit your needs. But I'm still not sure how well it would work. Feels too much like I don't like the idea of stamina bar stuff as much. This is my universe, yeah. Yeah, I'm like trying to figure out what kind of things to make and how to make them. So there's a lot of brainstorming still going on. And then on the side I'm learning Unity stuff to actually make it. It's meant to be a Metroidvania type of game. So like coming up with a cool idea is one thing, but then figuring out how it would work for a gameplay loop is the bit I'm a little stuck on, you know? It just felt like my original plans for the character were kind of basic. I was just replacing all the like abilities you get in the game were mostly going to be this character's a mimic is the point. So you would maybe defeat certain bosses or befriend certain NPCs and get these new abilities by like eating the bosses or absorbing stuff from the friendly NPCs. So it was kind of that idea. I do know that the main ability is supposed to be, well, your main starting attack would be that you morph your arms into blades, to which you like do on a dime and swing out. And then I kind of like the idea of one of the monsters you beat later on, like maybe quite late on in the game, would be like a chameleon type one. And then you'd get like a grappling hook style thing in the form of a tongue, except it would come from the mouth that's in the character's stomach rather than the one on the head. I want to change this character design stuff anyway though, because I think it's like halfway there, but it's still a bit weak. This and this bit, kind of like this, maybe with like much longer hair on it, and this the bit with the shorts is just kind of bland. And I know I can do better. It's just a bit bare bones. If not the energy bar, maybe it could be a drug that enhances their ability and increases their power for a while. But it takes some of their life away. Maybe like so rather than something you switch between, it would just be a temporary boost, like an item. I'm not sure if I want it to be a usable, like a consumable. is a bit big. I was thinking of it more as a core mechanic. I think that's what was bothering me, is it was like my core mechanic still feels kind of weak. And it still feels like I'm not embracing the mimic character archetype very well. And I'm just thinking too much about things I've seen before, like, oh yeah, grappling hook and double jump and air dash and um for example, if it's a winged guy, the wings will become huge and he'll have fast speed. I like that as I like that as a bonus. Um the two main things about the character are they're a mimic, so they'll take abilities and morph into things. And the other one is they have this collar. And I thought it would be a good I thought it might be cool to incorporate the collar into some of the mechanics. Like some of the NPCs you meet will try and remove it for you because the mad scientist put it on. Um, and then they maybe can't remove it, but they give it like an upgrade, and then you might have like slots on it um to put certain like gems in and stuff. And then those would be things that can boost certain abilities or like help with certain playstyles. Which still that still sounds a bit like it's a lot like the charms in Hollow Knight. Um but I still like the idea of the collar being involved in something. Let me go back here. Underline doors. I think instead of the coins, it might be like there's a particular drink from the vending machines everybody wants. That would be more of a rare upgrade. Otherwise, seems weird to carry a million cans around. I also the first ability I came up with was the slime slide, which would be kind of like a dash, but it would give you a low profile and you would be able to jump in the air if you slide off the edge of a platform. So it wouldn't be an air dash, and it wouldn't. Mm, I tell you what, just to change up the idea completely. The other thing I had an idea about was if you ever played Ikaruga and you switch between black and white, and the opposite color bullets will kill you, but the same color ones you absorb, and that lets you build up energy to fire off the things. And that kind of crossed my mind with the mimic idea. Like if you were the same color as something, you could absorb it. And if you're the opposite color, you do double damage and things. And thought that might be interesting. I have Hollow Knight crossed with Mega Man X or the Mega Man Zero Metroidvania style games. I guess is like what's on my mind. That's the idea. I also had the idea for a spider ability. I like the idea of you getting these abilities, but they don't come out of your hands or feet. It's just like your whole body just morphs into something in an unexpected way. Like this one's, you get like spider stuff, but instead of it coming out your hands or legs, so grabbing on with your arms and things, it's like it just morphs out of your back. I feel like if I lock in a couple of ideas for the abilities and core mechanic, then the character design might kind of come with it. It's weird because you know a mimic is kind of meant to be like lacking identity. So I guess that's why I'm a bit struggling with how to go about that. And a lot of my ideas have come from animals more than like the monster part, I guess. How about you and mimic only colors you have unlocked? I think I get what you mean by that one. I'm not 100% sure. Now, there's so many directions to go with it. I have to just try stuff out, don't I? What time we on? I'm doing alright. We got a vending machine, lamp post. You can mimic only colors you have unlocked. Yeah, that was the idea. Like you'd start with one color, and then at a certain point, you would, you know, the first area would be filled with two colors, and you would be dodging one, or maybe it'd just be filled with one color actually, and then later on, when you unlock the second color, it means you can get through that area without taking damage from anything because you can match it. I think the main idea is that as a mimic, you can pretty much shapeshift to things, which is where all your abilities would come from. But there was also some notes I made about uh, using those abilities for things like camouflage and sneaking past things and hiding. Like maybe there's some enemies you can't beat and you have to get past them. And copying things. But she's supposed to start with like no memory, which is why she doesn't know how to like mimic anything at first. And then you kind of that's why you'd unlock them as the game goes on. Wing looks like clothes. They're not wings. And they're supposed to be blended with the clothes because she's a mimic. She doesn't need clothes, she just mimics clothes. So the sleeve and hand just just morphs into the blade. I really don't know what to do with like the face. Figured the face and the mouth would both have these big teeth, you know? Because I'm thinking about the mimics you see with in games and things like they're always treasure chests, aren't they? Thinking that we could just ditch the face altogether, but I feel like we should at least have some eyes on them, you know? Make them attractive so they can seduce things. I don't know about seducing, but I do want to make them more appealing anyway. I kind of wanted them to be a little androgynous though, like not some vixen type or anything, because Seems, I don't know. It's like the main character of the game is a bit of a self-insert. And if I make them androgynous, then you don't have to be forced to think about playing as a girl or a boy. Like you can project who you want to be on them. I feel like that's quite fitting for a mimic. Questions of identity and stuff. I think having a bit of stealth mission stuff at some point is definitely a great idea. I wanted them to have kind of a techwear look with chunky feet and slim limbs. But I've been struggling to get that look, really. I do have some references to look at. I think part of the challenge was being able to make it something simple enough to do a sprite sheet for without having to draw insane amount of detail every time I want to give them a new move or I also love asymmetrical designs. But I wonder if that's like just a big no-no. Because when you want to do a sprite sheet, you have to flip. You know, you have the walk cycle and run cycle and jumps and everything animated to go left, and then you flip them to face right, and it ruins it if it's asymmetrical. Like, what do you do with that? Pawns on tip of hands. Ooh, that could be like a could be an upgrade to the blade arms or something, or like an alternate weapon type you could use. They'd be like spiky clubs. Is this like an 80s Japanese funk mix or something? What music have I put out? Oh, future funk. Dragon wings or bat wings? Yeah, I immediately thought of Harpy wings. That was one of my first thoughts. And that could still be cool. It does feel very generic air dash or double jump wings kind of idea though. I feel like we can do something more original, but it might still be cool. I'm just looking for some different music. There we go. Trying to think of oh, that was the other idea. There's like, what about like spirits and ghosts and stuff? Those kind of monsters. You could get like a float ability or something from one of them, maybe. I thought that would be cool as an ability to go through walls, like just certain walls. Overpowered. I think it would be a later on type ability because it would be you want you want the abilities to be useful in combat and for traversal. So being able to go through specific types of walls would be a great way to get through to new areas. Um, but I think it would also be a good mechanic you could use in battle sometimes. Like it would kind of fit in with the color changing, maybe almost. There'd be certain moves you want to go like ghost form for to dodge. She can mimic anyone, and now she can go through walls. You're making her a spy. I haven't said she can mimic anyone. She has no memories, so she she'll unlock abilities in the game by learning to morph into things again. Like some of the boss, like she won't actually turn into the same thing as them. If she can go through walls, it's not like she can go through any wall in the game either. The whole point is you go through a specific type of wall. I roll. We're discussing game mechanic ideas, and I might switch soon to work on the Crescentsona because I've put it off for too long. What about experienced one? Well, there's a reason you don't see any other mimics in the game. And they're not welcome in the city. Yours is the only mimic character anyone knows of. And they won't let you into the city because they see you're a mimic and they're like, nope, we don't like your type. Kind of, I think I pictured them originally with like chunky feet, chunky arms, everything else small. But it's beginning to feel like that's not really gonna work the way I thought it would. I could have just like pointy, weird feet. I wanted them to have some cool fashion was the thing. 'Cause that's kind of where the modern urban theme would come from. Oh yeah, it's supposed to have this big ass collar on. I do want to embrace the monster vibe more. Time to go. See you soon. Oh, bye, Pradam. Nice. Thanks for brainstorming with me. It really helps to be able to bounce ideas off someone, so. Hopefully see you soon. I might stream again tomorrow. I mean, I'm not ending yet. But maybe this kind of shape's better. I'll have to try a sprite sheet at some point. I was going to start doing that today, but I've got kind of caught up in all these little bits and pieces of designs and brainstorming. See, this feels too chunky. And we're missing some of that. Wasn't the idea to cut down on times a bit? Yeah, I mean, I haven't streamed for like a week again, I think. So, you'll help me with other characters next time. Yeah, we got there's gonna be lots of stuff to brainstorm, so bye Pradam. Idea was to cut down yeah, but if I have some it's more like streaming when there's something I want to stream rather than forcing streams for the sake of it. Do this is growing on me because it's got more of a monster vibe to it as well. There's not much fashion involved here. So I wonder if I can give them a bit more cool stuff maybe. See, I've also drawn them in a cool pose, which is nice, but it doesn't help when you try and do a sprite of them standing idle. Maybe they'll upgrade and get feet later on. That could be a thing. We've got one platform, the ground, a couple props. I promised myself I would work on the Crescentsona today though, so I think we should do that next before we get any more carried away. This is better though. Don't know what to do with the eyes. We do need the color. Put the color on them and then we can do that. Collar definitely needs to be chunky. Character looks really good. Thank you. It's I don't think it I don't think it's there yet. I'm just trying some different stuff out. I do like that a lot more than what I had originally. But it's kind of like the difference between just drawing something cool and drawing something that fits the purpose you have in mind. Also, hi Griff. Hello, nice to see you. They look like a lot more of a badass from this design, which I don't think is bad. Feels like you want to play as them more. Maybe maybe the badass is a better way. Originally I really wanted the like chunky sneakers kind of thing in, and I thought, I mean, we're going to take this and make it small and then just try and make the legs very like skinny. But I don't think it works. And make the body very skinny too. Let's quickly give them pants so it doesn't look too weird. Kind of like small body, big feet, big hands, I guess. But it doesn't feel like it was really working the way I wanted it to. I do like the off sleeve, I mean off shoulder sleeve design though. Maybe Maybe we can do that. I like the idea of her not forming proper hands. So she can't just do whatever she wants. And I guess that might fit with if she can't form proper feet too. Oops, probably around now. Because if she can't perform feet or hands properly, gives her more reason to have to like learn these new things. Suppose then her feet can be weapons too. She morphs the arms into blades and her feet. That would be more interesting. There's a lot to figure out. Big, big, small. Big collar, small heads. Big arms. If the feet morph, do you have to repair the equipment she's wearing after the morph? Or will she be barefoot? No, see, this is the beauty of this is she's a mimic. Mimics disguise themselves as treasure chests and inanimate objects. She doesn't have to wear clothes. She's mimicking everything. So her clothes are her anyway, and they just morph with it. That's why in this one she has the sleeve here, and the sleeve is still, you know, it's connected, it's part of the blade. The character's a mimic. I just haven't figured out a great way to represent what a mimic looks like as a person type character. And there's only the main examples I've seen and come up with myself are all having like the monster mouth, which she has here, but um, but that idea seems to be getting a bit lost. Although I think it's still working actually. That's why the midriff needs to be like visible is part of what I'm struggling with here. I want the midriff to be visible in the outfit so that you can see the mouth bit. The outfit gets transformed while she's changing. Yeah, it's kind of like a maybe a nice way. So the idea is she'll pick up she'll like gather new abilities and things because this is for a Metroidvania style game. From other monsters and stuff. And when she morphs, like certain parts of her body to use these abilities she gets. She won't. It's not like she has to lose anything. She just morphs back when she's done using it. I do like this new design a lot. Looks a lot more badass. I was going for like small body, big hands and feet, but it's not been working quite how I wanted. I guess I thought it looked too cartoony. Maybe I don't want cartoony because that's not really ever been like my style. Uh, Probably being too influenced. You guys haven't seen this, but the idea this one's really a really tiny sketch of like she'd have she'd get like a chameleon tongue kind of grappling hook type ability, um, and that would come from the stomach, like the stomach mouth. Well, this would need redrawn now. Um, and the other one here, it's like a spider type monster ability, but instead of it being like her normal arms and legs transforming or something, it'd be like they just kind of morph out of her back to carry her along the ceiling for a limited amount of time. I thought that would be a lot more interesting than like wall jumping and double jumping and air dashing. I mean, I love those things as well, but I'm trying to think outside the box for like moves and ideas. Is that mouth common? I mean, the monster designs, yeah. It's in tons of things in nature. Having just teeth all over. And since mimics generally come from D&D and treasure chests and they tend to just have all the teeth come out, it's uh that's the idea. She reminds me of Alex Mercer. Can you remind me who Alex Mercer is? Because I don't remember who that is. Prototype. Oh, yeah, it is. The big chunky arms feels like prototype. I see what you mean. Maybe maybe that can change. Maybe they don't need to be big chunky limbs. Seems like instead, if we go with this kind of design, it would be more like I lost my train of thought. It'd be more like long and slender, and the limbs being like pointy at the ends, being thin, be more like a swift type of blade, I guess. Oops, I'm drawing things on the wrong layers now. was about to add something else to this. I forgot what it was. Oh, I was just gonna change this. Mm. Yeah, I guess if we're going with this one, then the morphed version of the blade arms would be much more like just a sharp point almost. I guess almost needle-like. I do feel like it would be better if it was the whole arm. Hmm. I really pictured it as a curved blade, I guess. I guess I'm not sure about the blade bit now. So the original was very chunky. It could be kind of chunky. It would be like a flat blade. Like a cutter or katana. I think in my mind I pictured it as being a less specific type of blade. Like something she'd be clumsily swinging because she has no memories. So it's not like she can do really refined stuff. I suppose upgrading the blade arms later on in the game could mean learning how to morph it into different weapons or better blades. So that could work. Let's just move this stuff around. I like this design. I do feel like I'm getting a bit too much into edgy, cool designs rather than like. I'm trying to keep in mind that I'm gonna have to draw a million frames of this too. So if it's like if any of it gets too fancy, it's gonna be a nightmare to. Take this. No, that's in moves. Okay, that's fine. A katana would be a very square and straight blade. I feel like that's a very refined type of blade for a. That would make for a nice, maybe a different move. Man, there's so many ideas. Sorry, one second. I need a drink. I'm not used to talking. What are the blades are there? What if what if one of the options you get is like a saw blade arm? That'd be fun. I don't want the focus to be too much on different blades though. It's kind of like it's meant to just be your basic attack and you'd get all these other cool monstery abilities. The If I go too far with the blade arms, it's going to be a bit like Terminator, you know? I've forgotten which Terminator it is, the liquid one. Was that 3 or 2? He just like liquid morphs through everything and has blade arms and things too. I'm like, that's much more sci-fi than monster mimic type stuff, isn't it? Um, so I do have some sprite sheet examples. There's Mega Man 0. Is that in there? No. Well, there's. Oh. Yeah, it is. Where do I put this? Down here. 4. Okay. I am going to work on the Crescentsona today. I promised myself I would. I kind of just put it off. So we'll do a little more on this and then let's see. And then we'll switch gears because I want to finish the Crescentsona and then I can focus on this and maybe do some fan art on the side. Maybe the streams would be more fan art or world building. To be like I do like the blade arm. It's a nice default attack. I think we definitely need to expand on it. Otherwise it would be very samey. They definitely seem a lot cooler than they did before. Okay. I do like that vending machine. I also... Where is it? Yeah. I want to redo this scene. Because I drew it very flat. And then I kind of realized I can do it more three-dimensional. So yeah, I'm gonna probably keep the background and foreground elements. I think that stuff works. Just the building itself is kind of... I've got more of an idea of how I want it to look because it's going to be a converted convenience store. She's turned into her science lab by like building a bunch of extra stuff on it. Okay, Crescentsona, and I don't feel like doing lines. So we are going to start blocking in just colors because it's more interesting and fun. And we'll do the broom first. Oh. So Nudi's colors are firstly yellow and orange with purple hair. I feel like the bike would be a shade of purple. Maybe the square brush is better to start with. Yeah. Figure we should try something a little different with this since it's just meant to be a sketch anyway. Um, it would be nice to actually do some lineless and get more comfortable with it. Okay, number two. I say lineless, but I did already have the sketch, but it's kind of a different... Nice guy, Master. Welcome. I feel like we could get some blue on there too. You've grown up, I see. Yeah, if you haven't been on my stream for a while, I've had a change of Pinkchu back. I still like the other one, and I might still use it from time to time, but I felt like this one was a better representation of me. Or like my themes and vibes and things, so sweet potatoes are still intact. Yes, they are a crucial part of the design. Hmm. But I did change that brush. I changed this brush so that the size matches stays the same on your screen rather than changing when you zoom in and out the canvas. So yeah, it's like a really small brush now, and then when I zoom out, it's a really big brush. And that's really useful for these kind of blocking out type brushes. Suppose the light would still be yellow, wouldn't it? Almost right. Um, this petals would be a pretty dark color. So when I zoom in to get more detail, my brush matches me, which I like. I only like it for these like blocking in kind of brushes more though. Would we make this back part purple too? I think this week's main goal is to finish the Crescentsona because I haven't done anything on it in weeks and I don't like leaving things unfinished. I can't actually tell what's going on there. I guess there's something else. Maybe orange isn't the right color for this. I'm gonna put some of these layers, some of these colors on different layers to start with to block out. So I can like make some adjustments and then I'll flatten it down. I was thinking this part would be orange, but then I suppose the seat could just be black. That could work. Just the black seat. Otherwise, I was gonna have the seat orange. And then that would mean these like the fairing on the side here would have to be a different color. Maybe black's better. Let's turn this up a little. My bad. Need to keep my arm in one place or I slap the mic on. Really don't know what this bit is. What is this bit? We can put this in. It's okay. The boot covers some of this up. Should probably just turn her off for a little while. I want the box color to like match close enough that you can tell. This can go underneath here anyway. I will be right back. I just need to stretch for a little bit. Give me 5 minutes to stretch, and then we'll keep working on this for a bit. Okay, let's continue. And a good back crack. Stretch everything out. I think this part's still confusing me. What is it? What is that bit? Oh! Man, finally clicked. It's actually this spike here is part of what we're looking at there. And then that means this is just... Oops. This is just the underneath bit. And the boot covers that. Still hasn't quite answered this question though. Of what this bit's about. I guess I'll just make it a like a darker piece. think they've reached 70K so far on this Kickstarter, which is really good. I think the goal was only like 30. Okay, these I think are, oops. Looking good. Oops, I left that on screen. I will have to turn off this sketch layer at some point and see how it looks without. I'm not ready. We are missing a few pieces of the bag. I guess they're fine there. Kind of struggle to picture where the handlebars would attach. But keeping it simple works. And then, let's see, windshield. How are they doing this? Actually, I'll do that on another layer. Pretty rough still, but the building blocks are there. Um, this brush could be so good if Clip could handle large text brushes. Never mind. That was it. We were going to put a background in too. Um, kind of like a vignette. Although I haven't fully decided how to do it. Yeah, for all. Thanks for hanging out. I might be back tomorrow. Oh, actually, hang on. No, my family are visiting, and they're going to arrive at 1. I forgot. I thought they were. I thought they'd arrive in the evening, but they'll be here from lunchtime, so there probably won't be a stream tomorrow. But day after that, very likely. Or they, I mean, they might arrive and just want to go off and do their own thing anyway. So we'll see. Do, do, do. I think this is fine, but we need a. There's definitely going to be more in the background, but that's like the placeholder shape for it. I do want it to be more of a painted thing though. And I feel like it would be good if it didn't cover the entire thing. This brush is a bit laggy, but I do like its color. This is just a rough thing. Figure it out. I'll probably paint something in and it'll just work. It's not bad. Definitely more noticeable on the bottom though. Okay. Oh, I forgot about the strap on the back. Squab. There is kind of a weird angle. Hi, Raccoon. Sorry, I just saw you. No music? Yeah, there's no music on the YouTube one because otherwise it'll get a copyright strike. There's no magic way to like stream with the music and remove it from the VOD. You just have to like stream without. So I've got music, but you guys don't. That sucks. Yeah, it does a little bit, but it's still nice that I can stream on YouTube and Twitch at the same time. The quality is much better video on YouTube, I think. It's a higher bitrate. At least the splitter works. Yeah, exactly. The way I see it, my VODs are forever stored on YouTube, and I don't have to worry about getting copyright strikes. I mean, I've seen plenty of art streams that don't play music. And they just assume you'll play your own, so I guess it's like that. Avoiding the bits that are difficult because I don't want to do them. Oops, that does go. That should go there though. I haven't really worked on this piece at all since I made the sketch like 2 weeks ago, a week and a half ago. So I promised myself I would work on it today. I was also working on some more stuff to do with my Metrovania game using my monster. I was drawing some. I want to make some actual assets I can put into Unity, so that I can actually, combine my artwork with the stuff I'm learning in Unity for making game stuff. I was doing some stuff with props and background, decorations. And then we had this version of the character and kind of started reworking it. Because I felt like it was just kind of like bad shapes. So kind of ended up with this sketch instead, which I think is more my style, really. So they wouldn't be able to form proper feet or hands, so they'd have the pointy feet, and it would be a good reason to explain that they can't just do everything with their hands. And then I think the shapes are more like my style. She's turned into more of a badass though. And I don't know if that's what I wanted. I want them to be kind of nondescript, so that you can self-insert almost. And then I did a little attack sketch. Yeah, and I think you guys have seen these before, but we have the concept here, but I'll show you quickly. This one I'm going to redo the building because I kind of realized I can draw it in 3D instead of flat, even though it's a 2D game. Like, the whole point is to add depth. So I did a quick sketch of how the building will look because I have a clearer idea of it as well. Like, she's going to take a convenience store, Konbini, and she's just like made it into her science lab and like built more stuff onto it as time's gone on. So that's what we've been doing today. But I promised myself I would work on this, so I've been doing that since the last hour or two. Maybe the last hour. It's still rough. I've got to finish the lines on Nudie. paste. Put there. I'm not quite sure about the faces all. She loves it. Yeah. I wanted it to be dynamic. She's riding in the sky. If you haven't played the demo, I'd recommend giving it a go. It's just like a very chill vibe, riding around on your broomstick. I think there's something off about the head at the moment, which is why I can't get the face to really work the way I want to. I should have put the mouth on a different. I never know quite how realistic to make a mouth. How faces work from a low angle. If you're looking up, the nose and eyes are more in line, aren't they? You know what? I think some of this is just drawing the head a bit off. Maybe. feel like that could be it. This angle with an anime hand. She's got a really long neck though. Could still work. I think that looks better. The eyes are too big. I think I think that's better. Oops. Looks kind of sleepy now. Okay, not quite the face I'm going for. Okay, it's very close to what I want. I have to fiddle with it a bit, but much better. All right, I think I'm gonna call it there for today because I have to get some things done tonight. No stream tomorrow, but should probably be one on Wednesday. Today's Monday, isn't it? Yeah. But yeah, thanks for stopping by. Okay, and Raccoon. Unfortunately, I stream during the times when you're probably working. Um, right. For those of us on Twitch, let me just do a little look. See if there's anyone to read. I have too many windows open now. Where are you? Is anyone on? Maybe Kingu. He's really good. It's like he's working on a commission. Yeah, I'll do that. Okay, let's fusion music. It. I don't know if I've done a raid on Kingu before, but Kingu's been an inspiration for a long time. Very cool. Looks pretty. Looking forward to seeing it finish. Thank you. I think now that I put a bit of a sky background on and blocked out the colors for the bike, it's coming together a lot more. I was kind of reluctant to do the bike room thing, um, but it helps just blocking it. Right, here we go. Yeah, thanks very much for hanging out, and hopefully see you through.